What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne, and thank you for joining me in another video. Today we're here to check out the 2024 BMW X2 xDrive 28i. This is another one of those coupified SUVs, if that's your thing, kind of like a sport compact SUV type deal. Now if you want something a little bit more traditional but in the same class, take a look at the BMW X1, but the X2 is essentially a coupified SUV. Now this one is done in a Storm Bay metallic paintwork, and then the interior is done in a Vagenza mocha. This is their vegan leather, so it's an alternative to the real deal, but it feels great. So if you're into, you know, being eco or whatever you want to define that as, check out their vegan leather options. They do look nice and they do feel good. So the BMW X2, let's go ahead and start off what's powering this 28i version. What we have up front underneath the hood is a 2-liter 4-cylinder giving you 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque, connected to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Now, this does get you 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. There is a more powerful variant out there if that doesn't do it for you. But essentially what this is a small, compact, sporty SUV, especially with its coupified looks, that's designed to be fun to drive and just something that you can enjoy without breaking the bank. Now, as far as the pricing is concerned, this one is spec'd out at about $52,000. So, it falls in line with its competitors in terms of the compact luxury SUV market, especially the coupified SUVs that are out there. And there are a ton to name nowadays, so I'm not even going to run through the list. You guys know what's out there. So starting at the front, of course, we're getting the traditional BMW looks. We have a massive kidney grille, not as obnoxious as the kidney grills seen on some of the other BMW models, but its size is proportional to the vehicle, right? So it doesn't overpower the front of the vehicle. Now, it still looks aggressive from the front, still looks sporty. We'll floor it real quick. That turbo kicks in, just a hint of turbo lag in this vehicle, but it does feel well placed and responsive on the road, right? So back to the front, we have LED everything. Of course, we have functional air vents up front as well, but it just has that sporty and aggressive stance that you want in a coupified SUV. So BMW is definitely delivering, their current design language, but with a grille that kind of fits the car that it's on, right? The grille doesn't overpower the entire design of the rest of the vehicle, and that's something I think is commendable these days. Okay, coming to the side profile, what we do have are 19-inch wheels. This vehicle can be had with 20-inch wheels depending on options. The overall length of the vehicle, we're looking at 179.3 inches, and that's roughly about 7 or between 7 and 8 inches longer than the previous generation. Now, when compared to the X1, this coupified X2 sits actually 2 inches shorter than the X1 model. So that's going to give it, that sporty look that you're seeing on the side profile. Now, of course, we do have gloss black accents that match what you see up front. So on the side profile, we have gloss black window surrounds and gloss black side view mirrors, kind of giving you that sporty vibe that you see on the X2 when compared to the other models. And another thing that's noteworthy about the side profile, and you'll also notice it on the interior as well, this huge panoramic roof. It doesn't open, it doesn't vent, but it brings a ton of natural light into this cabin. That's one of my favorite features about this vehicle, to be honest. I love natural lighting, especially in SUVs where the windows can be tinted a little bit. This is just showering the interior with tons of natural light on this cabin. I really like that. Now, of course, you do have that arched bow shape with the roofline. You'll notice that, again, a coupified SUV, which takes us to the back. I noticed the tail lamps literally mimic the headlamps on this vehicle. I thought that was a pretty nice touch. Open up that rear hatch, you're looking at about 25 cubic feet of storage, which is about 6 cubic feet of storage less than what's found on the X1. Remember, that sloping roofline is going to eat into your headspace and storage space a little bit, but you are getting those sporty vibes in the X2 that the X1 might not necessarily provide. Now, focusing on the interior, we do have a dual display system, which is found in most luxury vehicles to date. BMW has one of the best systems in terms of, the user interface. I think it's BMW and Mercedes leading in that segment, in my opinion. What we have is a 10.25-inch display here, mixed with a 10.7-inch display, wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto as well. That's to be expected. The camera systems and just the integration, super sharp, super quick, respectively. So I really like that. We've covered BMW a lot, so not much additional to say there in terms of the ease of use. You guys are familiar with this by now. Coming lower, we do have air conditioning vents all the way across. An interesting pattern on the dash here. So there's a lot of different patterns here between the dash, the speaker grills, and then also found on the door panels. I found that to be interesting. And then, of course, we do have this metallic-like finish, this plasticky but metallic-looking finish sitting below the air conditioning vents. Coming lower, we do have wireless charging, and then 2 cup holders, 2 USB Type-C ports, and then a floating center console I noticed here. Now, one thing I will say about the center console, it's really shallow, so there's not a lot of space in there at all because it's just a floating design. All this below the center console is open, so you can store stuff down here, but it's not enclosed. That's just something of note. The seats, again, done in that vegan leather, they're extremely comfortable, right? They look like the real deal and they feel like the real deal as well. 3 levels of heating. They are not cooled in this application, but they are quite comfortable. And of course, fully adjustable, electronic adjustable, as you would expect in a BMW vehicle. The steering wheel is also heated. It's nice and thick. That gives you a good sense of control over the vehicle. And then, of course, behind the steering wheel sits that thin film transistor display that I made mention of earlier. Now, the door panels, coming back to that, we do have, these aluminum traits on the door with this pattern. Almost looks like it's laser cut. Has a nice finish to it. Again, the pattern is just throughout this entire vehicle. And then you also have another pattern for the speaker grills as well. Of course, you have controls for all 4 windows and some of those mocha brown accents as well, and storage on the bottom of the door. After all, this is an SUV. The storage on the door is quite impressive for this vehicle size. Usually, I notice the storage on doors and vehicles in this class, in this segment, is just a little bit less, but it's adequate in this vehicle. I like that. Coming towards the back, you're looking at roughly 36 inches of legroom. And again, you got the mocha brown accents there. Now, one thing of note, I will say, if you're over 6 feet tall, that sloping roofline might be a problem for you. But aside from that, the back is sufficiently comfortable. All right, so let's lay into the throttle. All right, so you get a little bit of turbo lag, but once it's going, and it's brisk. So this vehicle, it feels nice and planted. You have a good sense of control, not too much body roll whatsoever in this vehicle. Now, as far as the road noise, it's a fair amount. So, it's not a lot at all. It's what you would expect for a vehicle of this caliber. But yeah, I love how responsive and light on its feet this vehicle feels. Now, as far as your fuel economy, I have to mention that because somebody's going to ask. What you're looking at is roughly, I think, 24 miles per gallon and 33 miles per gallon for the city and highway, respectively. Brakes are responsive. I just love how in check this vehicle feels. Let's take it down this curve. Yeah, this vehicle feels nice. So you can go down, some twisty roads with a bit of confidence. So the only thing I noticed in this vehicle is just that hint of turbo lag. I don't know if in the other application that they have, if it's as noticeable, right? But other than that, this vehicle feels spectacular. You got the head-up display, the panoramic roof, all the creature comforts that you could want in the interior, everything that you would expect from BMW, the iDrive, everything is here. And it just feels like a well put together package. So if you're looking to get into the BMW brand, this might be one of the vehicles that you would consider as a starter. Something that, just kind of welcomes you into the brand before you start getting into, the higher end stuff, like the 5s and the 7s and everything else that comes after it. So let me know what you guys think about this vehicle in the comment section. I'm sure you will. At $52,000, this isn't bad. Now, I've had some passengers in this vehicle and they thought this thing cost about 70 to 80 grand, right? So that kind of speaks volumes. It tells you that it looks more expensive than it actually is, which is a positive thing, as opposed to it looking a lot less expensive and costing a lot more, which we've seen before on this channel. So let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.